Okay, guys, let's talk about the news that broke hours and hours and hours ago. So, this video is going to be a little quieter because I'm recording this really late at night. So, one, I apologize for that. Two, I apologize that I'm uploading this so late at night. In fact, probably early in the morning at this point. But I wanted to get this video out and I wanted to kind of read as much as I could before I sat down and recorded. So, we're here to talk about it now. USC, UCLA to the Big Ten. What does it mean? What's going to happen? What's my opinion? We're going to talk about all of that in this video. But anyways, what's up, Tailgaters? My name's Tailgate Nate, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I appreciate you hit the subscribe, like, comment, anything you can, help support the channel. Really does mean a lot. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about UCLA and USC moving from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, and what does it mean? Right around this time last year, Oklahoma and Texas decided they were going to move to the SEC, and it sent shockwaves through the college football landscape. And this move right here from USC and UCLA could also send shockwaves through the college football landscape as well. So I'm going to show you guys something on the heels of Oklahoma and Texas's thing last year, realignment announcement. There were a lot of other announcements that came out as well. And after USC and UCLA get into the Big Ten, as it stands right now, things can still absolutely change, and things are going to change. I guarantee you that. But as of right now, as of recording this video, as of sitting down, this is what the college football landscape may end up looking like, or at least as of right now looks like, in terms of conference realignment. So Conference USA is getting some new teams, American, the Big 12, of course, adding these four over here. There's new additions to the Big 10. You got new additions to the SEC, the Sun Belt, that's happening this year. And then the Pac-12 without two members as well. So I'm going to hold this up. You guys can go ahead, take a screenshot, picture, video, whatever you guys want to do. Got it? All right, good, because it's going away now. So hopefully you guys got whatever you wanted of that. But that is current, and that is up to date. Rumors had it that after USC and UCLA announced that Oregon, Washington, Stanford, some of those teams were going to look to move to the Big Ten. But in the end, it didn't go anywhere. At this time, Oregon, Washington, Stanford, a couple other of those teams are not following suit to join the Big Ten. In fact, I believe the Big Ten has even come out and said that they're happy with the members that they have, and they don't want to add anyone else quite yet. So, although it could happen, it's not happening right now. So, we can slow down on that. In terms of the SEC, I don't think anything's going to happen with them either. This video is going to be mainly about the Big Ten, Big 12. So, in the near imminent future, what could happen? Well, let me pull this big board back up again. So when you look at the Pac-12 conference, again, the teams that were supposed to be rumored going to the Big Ten were these three right here: Stanford, Oregon, and Washington. Although I'll say it's kind of Oregon and Washington and then Stanford, right? So Oregon, Washington, probably the two biggest brands left in the Pac-12 now that UCLA and USC are gone to the Big Ten. So if you guys remember what people said about the Big 12, it's that, oh no, the Big 12 is done. Oklahoma, Texas are gone. The Big 12 is trash. There is no more Big 12. Big 12 is done. It's over. Power 4 conferences is here. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Big 12, at least for the next few years, is going to be doing just fine. I mean, they added 4 new members, so they will be the Big 12 now instead of 10 teams within the Big 12. They will be the Big 12 again with 12 members. So the Big 12 is going to be doing fine. And a lot of people are saying now that, oh, the Pac-12 is done. The Pac-12 is going to be no more. I think the Pac-12 is definitely in a lot more danger than the Big 12 was a year ago. But I think as of right now, I think we need to hold off for a little bit to determine whether or not the Pac-12 is really done. Because if Oregon and Washington leave, okay, now it's time to hit the panic button, and Pac-12 teams could be looking for some new homes. But again, this is what we kind of said about teams in the Big 12 last year, right? Where being skepticized, like, oh, the Big Ten, they're going to take Kansas and Iowa State. Oh, in the ACC, they're going to take these two teams, and then they're going to take these two teams, and it was all just a big mishmash of that, right? And that's not what ended up happening. In fact, the Big 12 reloaded, got some teams in, and are going to be fairly fine. So I would hold off on pushing that panic button on the Pac-12 just yet. Let's see what Oregon, Washington, Stanford, some of those schools that have been rumored to start exploring their options. Let's see what some of those universities decide to do, and then we can decide whether or not the panic button is hit. However, bringing my board back up here, I do agree that the Pac-12 is definitely in more danger than the Big 12 was a year ago. Now, let's kind of think for a second, right? If this is the current landscape of college football, where could we see teams going? Well, Oregon and Washington have been rumored to move up to the Big Ten to join those 16 teams up there. Okay, I could see it, but then I would also think the SEC has some interest in adding teams as well to compete with the Big Ten. But wherever Oregon, Washington decide to go, heck, maybe it's to the Big 12 there as well. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. For this experiment, though, I'll say the Big 10. I think the Big 12 would be pretty interested in adding the teams from Arizona, Utah, maybe Colorado if they wanted them back. If not, then Stanford could absolutely go there as well. But in my opinion, I think these are the three teams right here that really need to start hitting the panic button. I think it's these three teams right here that if the Pac-12 is going to implode, these are the three teams. That's Oregon State, Cal, and Washington State that I think are going to have a pretty hard time finding new homes. And even so, if Oregon and Washington were to end up leaving this conference, then can the Pac-12 reload from the Mountain West and maybe grab these three teams? So you get Boise State, Fresno State, and San Diego State there as well. So maybe they reload that way. I mean, honestly, your guess is as good as mine at this point on what the Pac-12 decides to do. But again, that is if and only if these two teams up here decide to leave. Okay? So let's have a hold off on hitting the panic button for the Pac-12 just yet until we see what Oregon and Washington decide to do. But after that point, after these two, and maybe possibly even these three teams decide what they want to do, then we can kind of decide what the Pac-12 needs to do and how panicked people in Pac-12 country need to be. So I wouldn't be super concerned yet, but it's definitely not trending in a good direction. I will say that much. So be on the lookout for some more decisions coming soon. But I do not think it is time to hit the panic button yet, okay? I think the panic button comes later. I think right now it's just kind of like the apprehensive button or the nervous button, if you will. So there was the one point I wanted to make, kind of the immediate future of college football. And again, we'll talk more about, or at least I will talk more about UCLA and USC in the Big Ten once we get closer to that point. But again, that's 2 years down the road. We already know what's happening. We can preview and predict it later. But more grand scheme of things, and not just in football, but basketball, baseball, softball, some of the other things there as well. The college athletic landscape is changing, and it's changing rapidly. And whether or not you think it's changing for the better or for the worse, it's changing, and it's changing very, very fast. The one thing I will say, and I'll voice my opinion on this, is I think super conferences are the future. And I think we're going to see more and more conferences try to get to that 16-team mark. However, what I also will say is that I think that college sports are heading in the direction that I personally am not necessarily the biggest fan of right now. And I think I say that because I love watching college football for the tradition and the passion and the excitement and some of the things that go in with these group of five, Power 5 upsets. Like when Cincinnati made the college football playoff. Oh, what a story. What a feel-good moment that was for that program, for that group. When UTSA had an almost undefeated season. I mean, incredible. Amazing stuff. I love seeing stuff like that. I love seeing stories like that. It's what makes college football great. And right now, they're kind of taking a lot of that stuff away. Like, tradition doesn't seem to matter anymore because it's all about the money. Money is what matters. And at the end of the day, this is a business, and it's a very lucrative business. And I understand that. However, as a fan of the game and of not only college football, but college basketball, college baseball, volleyball at times as well, everything like that, while I'm excited to see kind of where everything goes, I'm a little nervous and apprehensive as to what the future holds as well. Because I think if things fall into the wrong hands, this can spiral out of control very, very, very quickly. What I will say though about I've kind of talked about the immediate future a little bit, right? And what teams from the Pac-12 may be able to do. But going into the far future, right? What do I see this landscape projecting out as? Well, I can definitely tell you that the landscape in the next 5 to 10 years is going to look a lot different than this. I can guarantee you that much because things are changing very fast, very, very rapidly. But I'm going to tell you guys this, and it's what I've been saying since this news broke. Over the next 5 to 10 years, and especially in the area after the playoff expires, after the area where the playoff expires, once the playoff contract kind of winds down and is done, and whether or not they re-sign that deal, I think they absolutely do. And college football playoff expansion is a whole other topic that you can throw in here as well that I'm going to address a little bit. But again, I think over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a lot happen. And it's going to be a lot, and it's going to be very, very, very fast. Very fast changes, and it's going to be a lot of changes. Boom, 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 like that. So over these next 5 to 10 years, watch out, because I think there's going to be a lot coming, and it's going to come fast. So be prepared, because I think college football right now is just lacking a sort of system, right? And I'm a very systematical type A person. I like to have a plan. I like to know when I'm doing what I'm doing and things like that, right? I'm very type A that way. And college football right now is in a lot of unknown. College athletics in itself are in a lot of unknown. So I think it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I think it's going to be very fascinating to see where this goes. I'm not the biggest fan of where college athletics are heading, but hey, I'll be here and I'll be along for the ride. And while I'm nervous, I'm kind of excited to see where this all goes. So please let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Again, I appreciate those of you that were up late enough to watch this video drop. So be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, anything you can. Please tell me your opinions on this. I want to hear what you guys have to say. But at the end of the day, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. I'm going to bed. I'll see all you guys tomorrow when we continue with the Big 12 predictions. Goodbye.